Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Thursday Night Renegades as 12 monster truck superstars are set to do battle to see who will take home the checkered flag this week. Flying Ryan will defend that checkered flag in the Hot Wheels machine. Let's go ahead and clear out this pit party and head up to the starting line. Right here in round number 1, we're going to see the Stone Crusher draw up against the Michigan Ice Monster. The classic matchup between Ford and Chevrolet. Who's it going to be as we get set to go green? The Ford pulls a little bit up and over the cars and Stone Crusher into the backflip ramp. Rolls back a little bit. We are going to get an MTA official down here on the track to declare a winner. And we're going to get him down there now. And it looks like the Michigan Ice Monster's got it by half a tire. Good race right there. Prowler draws up against the Bad Habit Chevrolet as we head up to the starting line. Prowler, a former Renegades champion, up and over the cars. Bad Habit tried to chase him down, and Prowler will move on to round number 2. Moving on now, we've got the Devastator taking on Bad News Travels Fast. 2 Chevrolets headed up to the starting line as we get set to go green. Look pretty even down the straight up and over, and Devastator gets into the backflip ramp, and Bad News looks like he's got the lead after Devastator rolled backwards. We're going to get an MTA official down here. And yes, indeed, Bad News moves on to round number 2. Now this ought to be a good race. Your finalists from last week in Black Stallion and former Renegades champion American Guardian, Ford versus Chevrolet as we go green. Look pretty even up and over, and Black Stallion takes it to the wall. American Guardian got hit by that backflip ramp, rolled backwards, and Black Stallion will move on to round number 2. And there he is, your current Renegades checkered flag holder, Flying Ryan Paget. That Hot Wheels Ford draws up against the King Crunch Chevrolet as we get set to go green. Ford pulls a little bit up and over the cars, and they get into each other on the big end. We're going to get an MTA official down here to declare a winner, but they get into each other right there on the big end of the track, and King Crunch does indeed move on, so we will have a new checkered flag holder here tonight. El Toro Loco draws up against the Whiplash machine. Whiplash held that checkered flag 2 weeks ago, trying to get it back as we go green. Whiplash pulls hard up and over the cars, 2 wheels, and El Toro Loco rolls the truck over. Look at the action. 2 wheels by Whiplash. El Toro Loco hit the backflip ramp and rolled the truck over. A lot of action to end out round number 1. Moving on to round number 2, we're going to see the Michigan Ice Monster take on Prowler in the first bracket of round number 2. Up at the starting line now as we're waiting on green. Down the straight stretch, they both look even up and over the cars. They get into each other on the big end. But it looks like we're going to get an MTA official down here, and Prowler does indeed have the win, moves on to the semifinals. Black Stallion out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Bad News out of Elkton, Virginia. Who do you got? Ford versus Chevrolet as we go green. They look even up and over the cars, and both trucks head left towards the wall. Black Stallion outran the Bad News machine, puts Bad News on the trailer. King Crunch draws up against Whiplash. Whiplash, a former Renegades champion, as we get set to go green. Look even down the start up and over the cars. Whiplash rolls the truck over. She tried to drive it out and save the truck, and it rocked up and rolled over. King Crunch moves on to the semifinals. Now we got to bring back a fast loser. Everyone that lost in round number 2 gets a chance to be brought back, and Bad News will draw up in the semifinals against King Crunch. Now moving on to the semifinals, we've got the Prowler machine taking on the Black Stallion Ford. Both trucks running strong all night. Who's it going to be as we get set to go green to go to the finals? Down the straight stretch now, Prowler pulls a little bit up and over, both trucks into the wall. It looked like Black Stallion hit that wall pretty hard. He was going for it. And we're going to get an MTA official down here. And the Prowler machine has got it by a fang. He will move on to the finals. Bringing back a fast loser and Bad News draws up against King Crunch. Who's going to the finals as we go green? 2 Chevrolets up and over the cars, and King Crunch cuts him off. And King Crunch will move on to the finals. Now we're going to take a break. We're heading down to the pits where it looks like the Black Stallion team was going for it so hard they blew the motor in that truck. Hopefully they can make it back next week. We're going to keep an eye on them, making sure they get their nuts and bolts nice and tight. Moving on now to the final round. It's going to be the Prowler machine, a former champion, taking on the new King Crunch Chevrolet as we get set to head up to the starting line. Who do you got? Do you think Prowler's going to win the flag back, or are we going to declare a new Renegades champion as we go green? They look even down the start up and over. Prowler rolls the truck over. He hit that backflip ramp that might have costed him the race as King Crunch rides on by, and that'll be it right there. And Matthew Riley and the King Crunch Chevrolet is your new checkered flag holder and Renegades champion.
Standing tall up in victory lane, I done brought the pain and now they screaming my name, yeah. Everybody saw me rock the place. Now there's flash bulbs are popping and mics in my face. Always giving the crowd what they need. Now they're wearing my shirts front row to nosebleed. Now the crowd forms is what it's all about. Signing autographs until the lights out. Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in to Thursday Night Renegades. We hope you enjoyed it. Be sure to check out all of our social medias, subscribe to us on YouTube, and I'll catch you down the road. See you next week.